What?
Sir?
What do you want?
Just thought I ought to tell you, sir, there's a lot of talk on the street about this.
Time for the show.
They're starting to get a pretty strong following.
Excuse me? Did you say...
Time for the show.
Uh-huh.
Do I have to remind you that we are a network affiliate? And we're in competition with other networks, not with a bunch of punks broadcasting out of a closet?
Tonight's Time for the Show is interactive. You can read along at home. Go grab a Bible. Do you have one? Do you have one lying around? Go check underneath your toilet. Go behind. Look behind your desk. Move your bong. Go grab your Bible. It's interactive. Broadcasting live from ground -1 here at Subbasement 27 at Hypercube. I'm Doktor Faux, and it is time for the show. Good golly gee willikers, I'm so excited that we can all be here, and it's a festive time. We're all remembering today about, work and stuff. Just kind of walking around, not going to work or not doing anything, and I don't have to do anything except for all the people that went to work today. They had a good day. Oh yeah, today is my day. I am remembered. I am one of the fallen. I had to work on Labor Day. So, Big F, Big 22 in chat. And I'm checking into the chat, and we have Katana on board, trying to invite somebody. If you want to join the chat, you can go to timefortheshow.com, click the Discord button. If you have the app installed, it should connect you to the Hypercom. You can also listen live at freethinkradio.com and on the TuneIn app. You can also listen live, click the live stream button at timefortheshow.com. That's how it works. You can come and join everybody having just a great Monday evening with their bestest pal, good old Dr. Me. So glad to have you here. So yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We've been working on stuff, and I would send Peas a message. I'm like, hey, tonight's theme is this, and we're going to do this. And, we would do that a little bit. It'd kind of work. It'd kind of be neat, being kind of funny, and we were able to do stuff. And I came up the other day with this idea, and I completely forgot that we were celebrating the fallen of the franchise wars today. But all restaurants are now Popeye's chicken. But I guess we're gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna read the Bible tonight. I'm just gonna start at the beginning. That seems like a good place to start. Most books start that way. Full disclosure, I have read several books of the Bible, but not the entire Bible. And I thought that would be the Labor Day, and I was just going to put myself to work. It was something I had been meaning to do, was go back and read the Bible again. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. It's going to be a great time on Time for the Show. Peas is in the desert in his Jeep. But I'm having a great time already. The fun part about doing Time for the Show is I get to do it any way I want to. This is an interesting change to Time for the Show, and I'm trapped here. I can't escape. I'm committed. There are deep contractual obligations. I have to do this. I have to. You don't understand. I have to. I have to. All right, so we're going to cut to a song. It's a short one. That's going to give me enough time to get a couple of things ready here. So if you got your Bible at home, go grab it. We're going to read along. You can get a lot of Bibles for free on the internet. I'll be using the New American Standard tonight because, you know, that's the one I like right now. That's the one I enjoy. A little more smiting, a little more back to the hand of Wotan crashing into the earth. The stark fist of punishment. And that's what this book is about. You know, there's no retrieval. It's just big and it's crazy. So go grab a Bible or find a Bible. We're gonna listen to a song by that guy. You remember this one? It's a classic. All right, we'll be right back. It's time for the show.
How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? When the woodpecker pecks, that woodpecker pecks as much wood as it should peck wood. God made the woodpecker on day 5. When he finished, he said it's good. How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? You'd think that woodpecker's bill would break or get a migraine when it eats. But God designed that woodpecker kind with a spring behind their beak. As they drill in a tree, it amazes me. Those birds don't break their necks. But how much wood does a woodpecker peck when they go peck, 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 peck? How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? When the woodpecker pecks, that woodpecker pecks as much wood as it should peck wood. God made the woodpecker on day 5. When he finished, he said it's good. How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? That woodpecker sounds just like a drum as he thumps against the tree. He blinks his eyes and the sawdust flies, he'll never miss a beat. God put a cushion in its head so its brains don't turn to mush. Put sticky stuff on its tongue so it can catch those buck, 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 bucks. How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? When the woodpecker pecks, that woodpecker pecks as much wood as it should peck wood. God made the woodpecker on day 5. When he finished, he said it's good. How much wood does a woodpecker peck when a woodpecker pecks on wood? When the woodpecker pecks, that woodpecker pecks as much wood as it should peck wood.
Sorry. I lost control there. I just kind of was swinging out there. Couldn't stop at these amazing songs. That wasn't even the song I intended to play, but like I said, that was a classic. I got more songs for you guys. This is gonna. Are you ready? Are you just saddle up, strap in, get your helmet. Light a candle. Dr. Cosmac, is that you?
Yeah, it's me.
Hi, Dr. Cosmac.
Hi, Dr. Fox.
I'm gonna read the
I can hear myself.
Oh, man. Wait, yeah, I can fix that. There we go.
That's the stuff.
That better?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Hazel of the Windmills, in the chat, if you want to opt out of your Psychoustic Crystal firmware updates, we have an opt-out program in development, and I'll get you the link to that, eventually. Other than that, yeah, free updates, everybody, every week. We're gonna work with you too. It's gonna be fun.
You too? You mean the band?
Yeah, we're just
the band that dare not speak its name.
Yeah, we're gonna work with them.
So is this the Hurricane special? How's
Yeah?
How's that old weather treating you?
Well, it's kind of blowy.
Okay.
There's forecasts. There are predictions that have been made There's preparations that some people believe that they need to be making, but we're just kind of here. But we were watching earlier in the day. I had posted some pictures from the surveillance feeds around Hypercube in the general area, and it was rather quiet.
Yeah, I saw those empty streets. You said you took a drive and got some delicious Chinese food.
I got some Chinese food. This was definitely not the delicious kind, but more of the quick and open on Hurricane Labor Day. It was this is when most people around the Central Florida area start drinking, and everybody just gets ready, and they just puke and they vomit.
Just drink it out.
They just and they just eventually they fall into depraved states. There's usually satanic rituals, orgies, murders.
Kayaking.
Oh, yeah, those guys. I love their shiny little helmets, though. Watch out, that water is hard.
Well, it's so they don't hit their head on the boat.
It's a kayak.
Or maybe it's to prevent oar damage.
Damage from oars.
Right. You're waving like this two-ended paddle around. You might hit something. If you have poor motor skills.
Somebody in a kayak.
Right.
Let's just go down to the dock and just swing the oars. Just not around here, guys. Not around here. Just keep further down. You're welcome further down, but not around here.
Well, it's like caber tossing, right? Or like hammer throwing. Only you throw an oar.
Yeah, but tie a rope around it. We learned that the hard way. We used to chuck shovels into the ocean, but then one time the shovel it floated away.
I knew a guy named Chuck Shovels once.
Yeah?
No.
Where'd you dig him up?
So is it time for the show yet, Dr. Fox?
The sound of the roaring applause means yes, it's time for the show.
Oh dear.
So
who else is in the Hyper Studio with you?
Nobody. We have evacuated. All non-essential personnel are.
All your bowels are clear.
We flushed them out. Yeah, they're gone.
Super.
And we were preparing for the inevitable in case we were to come into broadcast connection errors with a backup episode or even another citizen broadcast.
But no such luck. The network is still up and you have to do the darn show.
Yeah, it's almost like I even tried to tear it down. It was almost like I could have just played a tape of last week's show and nobody would have known.
That's actually what this is, right? We're just pretending that this is this week's show.
They're never
going
to buy it.
They're never going to buy it, but it is true.
We're going to do it. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to play it next week. This is going to work.
Yep. Well, nobody's listening anyway because they're all
this week. Is it this
cowering
week
in their basements.
Yeah, from God's fury and wrath. Everybody, the entire world is preparing for Hurricane Dorian. For me, I haven't been able to come up with funny jokes about the hurricane name yet. But it's just like this dorky nerd just swinging up. He's got Dorian Gray. That's what
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that. I've seen that one.
The storm that turns around. It sees a painting of itself. I don't know. I've got nothing.
Yeah, the storm looks younger and younger.
The comedy well is dry. Ain't much going on. We're kind of just waiting it out. But there's supposed to be more coming. There's supposed to be
We threw
more
down
coming.
a bucket on a rope, but I think what we really need is more like a sponge. I don't think a bucket's gonna do it.
Do rain. Scalpod in the chat. Do rain. Okay. See, all right, see? Even Scalpod, an advanced artificial intelligence in a meat bag. Mechanical machine. He's a computer. You know that, right? He's a robot.
Where's Pease? He doesn't have any excuse not to be here.
Pease is lost in the desert.
Oh, no. His Jeep broke down.
No, I think he's just not done with his Jeep yet. If you know what I'm saying. They're definitely parked.
Ugh.
They're definitely parked.
And you know those stains are never going to come out of that upholstery.
Or the muffler.
Ugh.
There's semen.
Well, no, that's like you can get
inverter.
You can improve your mileage and emissions with this one simple Pease trick.
He's a funny guy. He's a good guy. He's a nice guy, Reverend Pease. And, you know, usually I can just throw it over and say, oh, yeah, right, Pease? But no. No. But I'm not gonna... I'm not gonna hold it against him. You know? He's too nice for that.
Well, I'd certainly hope not.
He's such a nice guy. And
he's the nicest, handsomest boy.
He's got a great, affordable, used recreational vehicle that I think is fitting for a man or young woman with good taste. I guess. I'm not sure. But, yeah, Pease has a Jeep. Did you guys know that? Pease has a Jeep? This is why I was going to read the Bible. This was going to give me... I was ready to crank out just show. Just juice. Do you want to read the Bible with me?
Well, I'm sorry to say, but actually I don't even have a copy sitting around. I mean, I could always get it on that.
I will read it to you. Maybe it's time that you got into it.
Is this like the Wonder Bible, Dr. Fox edition?
Everybody, yeah. This is the young adventure youth.
The young New Mexican puppeteer.
Drama. Yeah. Bible. This is the CW version of the Bible. That's what this is. I'm going to read the Bible to you because these people need it. They need it. It's not what I want to do. It's because I want them to hear it. All right. Chapter 1, Genesis. Verse 1. Do you want me to say every verse number just so you can keep up? You know, I don't know.
Which version are you reading? We could have our friends at home follow along.
I've got I can send you I'll put a link right here in the Discord.
Oh, wowzers.
I'm using the New American Standard. That's the one that I currently enjoy. It's got as I was saying
that's
earlier,
for heathens.
Exactly. It's no. Actually, this one's got a lot more of the smiting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, this one's a little more. This one's a little more full on.
So they took out the sex, but they added more smiting.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, do you wanna? What do you want? You want to change it? We got everything here. We got the Chinese Union version. We've got the God's Word translation. Got the
Chinese Union.
The Chinese.
Well, it's in Chinese. Like, I don't know. I can't read Chinese. Maybe you can.
Dr. Ellis says King James version or nothing, and that's what they all love that. But it's like, why that one?
That's the classic.
They go to that one. That's the one they want. All right. So I bet you if we just change, also the background music makes this.
What's the one that's like somebody's literal translation?
All right.
Which is like a really close translation from the original, like the oldest versions we have.
I was going with the NAS. Scalpod, yeah, I've read the Robert Crumb one a couple times.
Young's literal translation is the one that I like, but I don't know if it's available.
We're browsing Bibles, guys. This is it. This is the show you've been waiting for.
It's actually it's here. It's okay. The last one on the list. It's Young's literal translation.
All right, I'm trying to get it to go. Find it. It took me to the NIV. We're not using that one.
The new international version? What are we, communists?
No, Methodists.
Methodists, even worse.
Christ light, or really God light. It's God light with extra pep.
Here we go. Bible for Dummies. The Complete Idiot's Guide to Bible.
Throw that one in there. All right, because I put the link up, we got the King James Version Bible in there, and everyone's gonna read along. And I don't have it. Oh, do I have a sound when we turn the page?
So you kids can follow along at home. Remember, when you hear the sound, turn the page along with Dr. Fox.
No, I don't even Bible. The last one I read was I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. We're going through this together because it's work. All right. In the beginning, good start. It's off to a good start. It's up close. It's personal. It's like the original, before there was Once Upon a Time. There had to be the beginning. And this was it. All right? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was this is verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. 3. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Okay. Do you see how this works? I'm trying to follow along. You got light. And God saw the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. I told you this was gonna be the best show ever.
Well, I'm having a blast.
I am way too hungover to read the Bible right now.
Well, you're starting with Genesis. I mean, it's not the...
Well,
skip ahead.
It was what I was thinking, that developing commentary on it. But when it comes down to it, I want to read it, but I have to read it to myself, and I don't want to read it to you guys. And there's sometimes you realize, well, that's not that. Yeah, this bullshit. That's bullshit. Because the entire Bible bullshit thing. Why would you even do that? Why would I subject you to that? You don't know.
For fun?
You don't want for fun, and yet it was going to be the most boring just the dumbest idea I could have ever had. And that's what I get for not coming up with a topic for the week and developing it out.
Well, I thought it was the hurricane special, but
this is it. Yeah, that's the hurricane special. I've been up and down for the past 48 hours. And yeah, definitely Dr. Fox is hungover and doing time for the show. And he attempted to read the Bible. And immediately
you made a man's try at it.
I got like 5 verses in, and I am immediately fed up with the Bible. That we even had to argue about what translation we were going to read. That was great, and I predicted that.
Well, I like I said, we should have started with the Young's Literal, because that one's one that most people haven't heard.
All right, they haven't heard that one.
Well, it's just a little different from what most have heard, I suppose.
Well, why do you like that one? Who's Young?
He was a guy.
Bible. I'm familiar with the Wycliffe Bible, and that's like the first.
Well,
New
Young's literal translation. There was this guy Young who was like, you know what, this King James stuff and all these different translations of the Bible are for crap. I'm gonna go back to the oldest extant texts of the Bible I can find and translate them as literally as I possibly can, and he did, and that's called Young's literal translation. And it tries really hard not to alter the meaning of any of the words. Of quite slavishly.
I'm still trying to find the link to the Young's literal translation, and I cannot even navigate my computer screen. But I'm digging the Wii Shop music in the background. That's made this entirely bearable for me. But yeah, it was the Bible special. Well,
The Bible special.
The Bible special. That's what that was. We're gonna package that up. Did you guys enjoy that? That pre-production.
Well, you know, you got at least
production now. Now let's
at least 15 minutes of it, so you can, you know.
We need to get like that. Now I need to Photoshop everything together, and I get
throw in a few
album art,
songs, a few old clips and promo clips and stuff, and pad it out.
I had an album. I have the album here. Now here's what's fun. This is where this all turns around, because now I'm gonna tell you where and why I get frustrated with it. So when I was a kid, here's some fun. Here's some fun real life stuff for Dr. Fox. I went to a private Christian school, and I got a one-sided education.
Not a public Christian school.
This is this is savage. This is so I
That's some pretty monstrous
as I grew up, these are things that I would remember kind of ingrained in my memory, ways to get around thinking the Bible isn't the right answer. And some of this unique some of the unique attempts by some of these people in propaganda that they showed and gave me that ended up turning me into the monster that I am today. So I've got Buddy Davis. Buddy Davis is a I believe
no relation to Betty Davis.
And nowhere near as good looking. Nowhere near as fuckable. But
well, who could
Buddy
be?
Davis here. I believe he claims to be a paleontologist. I'm not sure where his credentials are from, but he is also a singer-songwriter. And he works with Ken Ham, who does the Creation Museum. And
our old
Genesis.
friend. Yeah.
Yeah, so Ken Ham.
That guy.
You know, super nice guy. And he's a smart guy. He's a nice guy. Remember that. And
Buddy Davis, you mean?
Buddy Davis would perform songs with Ken Ham as he would, tell kids that, dinosaurs, blah, blah, blah. That's other stuff. But we have this song that this is something that I heard when I was in school, and it was referring to a particular animal. And God's got to have a sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? God, he's a funny guy.
He's a
cheeky
he's
guy.
a little
Reverend
just
Negative
a little
found his
funny.
Bible. Okay. No, grab it open. Pull it open to Leviticus, and go to chapter 13. Reverend Negative, chapter 13 in Leviticus, and just get ready. Okay. So we're gonna jump over here. I'm gonna play you this song that I remember trying to attempt to learn. Because it was just one of those catchy summer beats. And when we come back, I got other stuff for you. Stay tuned.
Must have had a whole lot of fun when he took several critters and made them into one. He made the critter and put it in a river. It lives down under in Australia. It's designed to do what it does do. What it does do, it does do well, doesn't it? Yes, it does. I think it does. Do you? I do. Hope you do too. Do you? On day 6, God created it strange when he took this and that from several things. It's a mammal like A kangaroo, it has poison, sonar, and milk too. It's designed to do what it does, do what it does, do it does do well, doesn't it? Yes, it does. I think it does. Do you? I do. Hope you do too, do you? I think the Lord laughed when he put on the fur. With the chuckle he gave it a rooster's spur. It's got a duck-like beak, a beaver's tail and feet, and it lays eggs down by the creek. It's designed to do what it does, do what it does, do it does do well, doesn't it? Yes, it does. I think it does. Do you? I do. Hope you do too, do you? It makes evolutionists scratch their heads. What on earth is that, they said? It's a platypus, what a grand design. It does what it does, and it does do fine. It's designed to do what it does, do what it does, do it does do well, doesn't it? Yes, it does. I think it does. Do you? I do. Hope you do too, do you?
Buddy, that handsome beast. So, from a young age, how it works from my perspective, or from what I can remember, things being presented to me, is things are always just kind of skewed, and it's frustrating to see that when you're getting older. And now, because this is like flesh out time with Dr. Fox. This is like time for the chill with Dr. Fox.
Fireside chats with Dr. Fox.
It's more like Monday morning cancer, which I almost did this morning because I had been up all night smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee. But I ended up going to bed at like 10 in the morning and then waking up and getting stuff ready for tonight. So, it's okay, I'll read the Bible. Everything was always presented in kind of odd questions. You would ask, why does this happen in nature? And it's designed. You would, the implementation all the way through that. Not just life itself, but every intricate little part of it is intrinsically designed to support each other. And we're unique and we're special. And you also have these rules to follow because you're unique and you're special. Ugh. So you just grow up and it's just like, yeah, okay, I guess, life wasn't too bad. But I was trying to remember some of the things that I remember teachers telling me while going to the school and just being completely contradictory to everything anybody I knew outside of even my school and the church. The conflicting viewpoints on just these tiny little things, and just in the beginning. But you're presented with, this is how things are from an early age, and these are your teachers, and you're receiving, a pretty good education in, math and literature, English, things like that. There's courses to develop music, talent, computers, things like that. So you can get a good education, but you are completely isolated from, anybody else at these other public schools in the area. And if you live near somebody, you're not going to school with your neighbors. So if you don't get along with the kids in your neighborhood, you're actually kind of isolated. You're at home, even if you're in the suburbs, you don't know any of the kids around the area because you don't go to the same school as them. You're a different kid. And that happened to me and a lot of other friends of mine that went to that school. So you're all coming in and you're not all going to the same church. sometimes teachers would say to certain religious questions, well, you need to talk to your pastor. You need to talk to your parents, and then you need to go talk to your pastor. And we had to understand that everybody was just slightly different. And then we had different I don't know, not different religions, but different. We had a Catholic girl come in, and we also exactly, and she was absolutely, and yeah, little Doktor Foxy likey. And then we also had some Mormon students. And eventually, the Mormons, they're there for a year or two, and then the rumor is that they're asked to not come to the school because of their conflicting belief with the core of their school. So, Mormons need not apply here. And the Catholics, it was pretty much because there were no Catholic schools in the area. This was in the South, in Metro Atlanta. There wasn't a local Catholic girls' school for her to go to. And she got along with everybody, but she had a completely different view of how everything worked. And that was what was kind of captivating to me, was that I would see on television, Catholic services. There might be something on The Simpsons or something like that. And I'm like, well, what are they doing there? I don't understand what they're doing at that church. Why are they doing this? Why do they have this routine and things like that? And the usual response was, they're just different. They're just different. They're different. But then you would get older and people would be like, no, they're not Christians. And that was a bizarre situation, because there's people there claiming to believe in the same God that you're all going to the same school to learn about. You're learning about God. You're getting a biblical education and a biblical skew on everything in every other course there. And
sure.
They have people coming in from the outside of their core religious philosophy, and it stirs up the students. For instance, when we started 9th grade, I had been there since 1st grade, and by the time I got to 6th grade, they had added a large wing and a gymnasium. And in that larger wing, I would continue on 6th middle school and start high school. And we had so I'd been at this same school my whole life and known the same core group of people. And now there's more people coming in. And now the Catholic girl has come in. And this is her, I think that's her 2nd year there. And we have an English class. A literature class, and the teacher says, we're going to open every... Just turn down the Wii Shop. Yeah, it is fire, though, that Wii Shop music. We're going to open each class with a prayer, and we're going to do a different kind of prayer each day. This is an English class. And we're having creative prayer day. And most of the kids that are going there are Baptists and Methodists. But just directly there is the one Catholic student. And so we're going up, and there are objections. And kids are saying, I don't know about that. I'm not comfortable with that. And there was some sort of...
writing prayers, or?
No, it wasn't even writing a prayer. She had a small pitcher of water and a bowl, and you were going to come up and you were going to pour the water in the bowl or pour it on your hand. I forget.
Some kind of weird ritual.
It's a ritualistic, like supposedly a Hebrew prayer. I don't know. I believe that was the idea, was that it was a Hebrew prayer.
And this was English class.
And this was English class.
Huh.
And the Catholic girl said, I can't do this. I'm not supposed to do things like that. I'm supposed to do things the way that we're supposed to do things, and we're not supposed to do that, blah, 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 blah. And the teacher responds with, if you don't do it, you'll get a 0 for participation. And this is the first day of school in English class. And you would lose points on your grade if you didn't participate.
Submit to the ritual.
Submit to the blood ritual. And if I recall, the girl ended up leaving crying, and it continued with that teacher for weeks. And eventually, I wouldn't go there anymore. I would go to public school.
The best school.
And
really,
in the middle of 9th grade, and it was a completely different world. And for the first time, I lived near kids my age that were also going to school with me. And it gave me people to hang out with. And it changed a lot of my social dynamics and how I was perceiving things immediately getting out of there. But
yeah, I would imagine
this entire time I've still got this mindset, and I was still of a religious mindset. And even though I had been getting the education, going back to like middle school, we would have a Bible class. That was just part of the day, and you were reading chapters of the Bible and going over it, and these weak ass explanations. And like I was saying earlier, say, well, what about this? And like, well, you need to talk to your pastor or preacher about that. Some churches say different things about this specific thing. And at the beginning, I remember sitting in that class, I'm like, well, how do we know that this isn't the version that Satan wants us to be reading?
Yeah, or, any other
and I started
strange powers.
Testing the situation at a younger age. And it would be at the same time that I would start thinking these things that more of the propaganda was coming in. DVDs and VHS were pretty common at our school. We had a lot of multimedia coming in, and in particular from Answers in Genesis. I remember seeing those videos of Roy Comfort and Kirk Cameron in school, and explaining to you that, evolutionists, not even atheists, just the term was evolutionists, believe this. It was, and building this contrary, just building the contrarianism of the entire thing. Like, they believe this, and this is absurd, this is crazy. They say, here's a man that believes that we came from fish, and they play a clip of an interview of a guy who is just trying to sum up evolution in 3 seconds. And whether he's an educated guy or not, it doesn't even, they're leading you along. And
that's why it's so much easier to give the religious explanation, because it's much more quick to give the explanation that God did it, rather than have to explain a long-winded scientific theory. It just makes it a lot easier.
Well, immediately they would throw at you, it's just a theory. And in science class and Bible class, which, we really have to look at how separate those were to begin with.
Bible science class?
In Bible and science class, talking about quite often, kids were confused about what is a law, what is a theory, and it would vary from one classroom to the next. One science teacher had told you something and used this specific language for years, and now you're getting to the point where, okay, we have to tell the kids about evolution because, and the only reason is because they're hearing about it from everywhere. So we have to generate our curriculum about just discrediting evolution and anybody that would ever support it, and associating those people with the devil. And that was and just immediately there's an attack on you, that this outside world. Yeah, your friend, and you would hear your friends going to public school are probably going to hell. That was something you would talk about with your friends at school. With my friends at school, that's what we would be worried about. Like, well, I like my friends across the street, but they don't go to church. They're gonna die and burn in hell.
They're gonna burn.
And you're 8 years old and doing coloring sheets, but the rainbow being explained to you that it is not just a refraction of light. This is what I was trying to remember last week.
I thought it was God's promise.
It's God's promise. And here's the thing. I was told in science class, air quotes everybody, it did not rain before the flood. All right?
Huh?
It did not rain.
Where'd they find that in the Bible?
Well, it was an explanation that they had derived by juxtaposing verses. And they say, the Bible doesn't. The Bible says this, but you have to understand that it's condensed. There are words here, but there's not everything is there that it's explaining it, and it all can be explained, and we're gonna explain it to you by answers in Genesis. This is how the Bible is true, and that's really the core of the business. They're explaining the Bible in their viewpoint. That's the entire thing. And they can't be doing it wrong. They must be right because they're alive. God wouldn't let them do that, They say they love God. And so schools across the country are receiving answers in Genesis. They're paying for it. They're paying a lot of money for these DVDs and videos to come into the schools. And this company...
Well, brainwashing ain't cheap, man.
Well, and it's economical, and especially thanks to DVDs. What really threw me for a loop, though, was when we started watching a series called "They Sold Their Souls for Rock and Roll."
Is that about Kiss?
Basically, Kiss features prominently in this documentary series. Along with the likes of Elvis Presley and
wow, Elvis.
Well,
I guess he had he was pretty scandalous at the time, right?
It ties it back to blues music. It was explaining how
sure, it's all that damn darky music that's corrupting our youth, right?
Pretty much, and they were making pacts with the devil. That they
right.
were going down
of
to
course.
the crossroads and selling their soul to the devil to become famous, just not remembered. There was no hydrologic cycle at that time. I guess it was just stuff Doc Fox had talked about before. If it never rained, then how did all that water get into the deep, which existed before the earth was formed? See,
it was just there.
See, now we have to go to what is that atheist resource? Talk Origins. Hi, I'm Fox Dillahunty. Go to Talk Origins.
What? Who?
Oh, if you don't get that, then I salute you. You're a better man.
Was that a Dr. Fox? It wasn't a Dr. Fox joke then.
No, it was not a Dr. Fox joke. It was a joke on some some other bald podcaster. Yeah, you like that? Here, one more time. Bald. That was really weak, but my soda's getting warm. It's going flat. It's warm down here in the core. I guess I gotta get used to it though, because I'm going to hell. Because I'm screwed, you know? There's nothing I can do. I can't redeem myself. That's the rules. You're out forever.
Well, you gotta dress for it.
Pete and Repeat are in a boat. Pete falls out. Who's left in the boat?
What is this? This is Sherry Lewis? Good God. What are you, lamb chop?
That's Reverend Negative.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite verse of the Bible.
That's like a lamb chop joke, though. That's from Sherry Lewis. Sherry Lewis.
And
oh, man.
those were good times. Public television was nice.
Man, I'm so glad that watching those lamb chop VHS tapes when I was a kid is the closest thing I'd ever had to religious indoctrination of the type you just described.
It was hefty. It was just this entire just world. You're in a different world.
Yeah, it's a whole system based around like, well, we got to teach them something, right? But not if it interferes with this other thing that allows us to maintain control.
And and when you receive marks, when you receive a demerit, you can
Karl Marx or Groucho Marx or.
Oh yeah, there was a distinction. Your Groucho Marx, those had to be the religious demerits. If you did or said something that in particular kind of associated itself with a sin, it was different from another demerit, like showing up to class late or skipping.
So did they have like Jesus detention? Like if you did something bad, they'd make you do penance somehow?
Well, we didn't do penance. That was I guess that's a Catholic thing. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is more of a Catholic thing. I think you guys are more into like just getting forgiveness without having to do anything.
Well, that's what I was hoping
Other than ask for it.
But they would punishments would be implemented, and they would be religiously associated sometimes, and you would be copying verses out of the Bible and stuff like that. If you were screwing up in English class, you'd copy a dictionary.
A dictionary?
Yeah, I did that several times.
But that's not even like full sentences.
Nope, you just copied the dictionary.
What the fuck?
That's
like some shit out of like the 19th century. Like who would that's like Little Red Schoolhouse kind of punishment, you know? Like
yeah, well it's a monotonous task. It's
madness.
But I kind of ended up taking up to it. As I grew up, I was more keen to reference books and periodicals. Obviously, my attention span never put any red flags up for my parents or anybody, none of the teachers. But reading was hard. It was hard. I didn't like it. But if I was reading things, I loved the encyclopedias. I liked the dictionary, and I would work on building my vocabulary up. By the time I was 10 or so, I was getting those Far Side calendars. You remember those? Your
sure.
Desk calendar.
Page a day, kind of.
And I would also have a page a day word, and that helped me stupendously. I need a couple more of those. Let's just all right. Everybody, roll up some words of the day. Random Bible verses are good. Bible drills. All right, if you got a Bible,
you're gonna want a drill within a nice aluminum carbide bit, right?
Get a.
You can get through like 3 or 4
come in
armored Bibles.
Come at a 33-degree angle. Oh man, I know they've got to be here somewhere. Come on.
So did they make you like memorize shit and recite it? Like,
Yeah, and we would copy the Bible. We would read the Bible and take notes on it, and they didn't provide the Bibles. Everybody would you'd bring your own Bible from home, but everybody had an NIV. They used the NIV, so that's what I was raised on, because we weren't Catholics.
Okay.
Protestant and proud. Let's see here. I had some Jeez, and
well, not all Protestants don't use the KJV, because I went to an Episcopal church, so we use the King James version there.
Episcopal.
Yeah, it's like the Church of England, but for Americans.
For Americans, gotcha. But
basically, they're just a bunch of godless heathens. They let women and gay
Catholicism
people be,
light.
They let women and gays be priests. So I mean, they're basically all going to hell, right? I think your Baptist friends would probably think that the Episcopals were mostly going to hell.
I hope, if anything, this is great, because all of that indoctrination. This is how well it served me. At this point, I can't remember any of it. None of it has applied. None of it has stuck.
Congratulations for getting rid of your own terrible deprogramming.
It's not easy. It's not easy. They implement guilt and they implement shame into it. They are very malevolent forces. And let's see here. We got Isaiah 24, the Lord's devastation of the earth. Thank you, Reverend Negative. See, the Lord is going to... and it starts out great. See, the Lord is going to lay waste the earth and devastate it. He will ruin its face and scatter its inhabitants. It will be the same for priest as for people, for the master as for his servant, for the mistress as for her servant, for seller as for buyer, for borrower as for lender, for debtor as for creditor. The earth will be completely laid waste and totally plundered. The Lord has spoken this word. The earth dries up and withers. The world languishes and withers. The heavens languish with the earth. The earth is defiled by its people. They have disobeyed the laws, violated the statutes, and broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore, a curse consumes the earth. Its people must bear their guilt. Therefore, earth's inhabitants are burned up, and very few are left. The new wine dries up, and the vine withers. All the merrymakers groan. The joyful trembles are stilled. The noise of the revelers has stopped. The joyful harp is silent. No longer do they drink wine with a song. The beer is bitter to its drinkers. The ruined city lies desolate. The entrance to every house is barred. In the streets they cry out.
What do they
wine.
want their beer to taste like, though?
What were they drinking at the time? Was IPA?
Was it like Miller Lite?
I don't know.
Do they not want their beer to be a little bitter? I like a nice
microbrew.
Right. They had some kind of a mead, didn't they? It was more like a mead. Yeah.
Is mead a wine or is wine a mead? I don't know. I really don't. No.
What part of the good old book were you reading there, Dr. Fox?
That was Isaiah 24 from Reverend Negative that threw it out there. And let's see here. Okay, here's what we'll do. Yeah, throw your Bible verses in the chat, and Dr. Fox will read them for you. There you go. 2 Kings 2:23. From there Elisha went up to Bethel. As he was walking along the road, some boys came out of the town and jeered at him. "Get out of here, Baldy," they said. "Get out of here, Baldy." You know what that one's from, right? Dr. Cosmac, that's from the story of the Bible's rape bears.
Rape bears?
That's from the rape bear story. So the prophet Elisha was leaving the town of Bethel, and some fucking kids swing up behind him, and they're like, "Yo, Baldy, go fuck yourself." And you could imagine that I'm sure while Elisha was in town, he was only saying things to inspire those misguided youths. But yeah, if we go to 24, he turned around, looked at them, and called down a curse on them in the name of the Lord. Then 2 bears came out of the woods and mauled 42 of the boys. And he went on to Mount Carmel, and from there returned to Samaria.
Mauled. Yeah, that's some...
Raped to death by bears. And depending on which version that you read, it is she-bears. She-bears.
Which section of the Bible was that again?
Let me see here. That was from 2 Kings, chapter 2.
Okay.
And it's in this annotation, Elisha is jeered, and it's verses 23 to 25. That was the New International Version. Everybody, that was that one. That's what came up in the link. That's what you're gonna get. But yeah. She-bear. Now we're talking. This is good stuff. All right, what do we got here? That was from Dr. My Wife. Dr. Ellis threw in 1 Samuel 18:27. See, now this is the fun part. Okay. 1 Samuel 18:27. David took his men with him and went out and killed 200 Philistines and brought back their foreskins. They counted out the full number to the king so that David might become the king's son-in-law. Then Saul gave him his daughter Michal, in marriage. Okay? And before that, okay, so I know about this one too. David had already been presented with Saul's first daughter. He's like, yo, dude, I know you and my son are tight. You guys hang out a lot, and you're really close. You're really close with my son. So I'll tell you what, buddy, son of God, here's my daughter. You want to marry my daughter? And David was like, nah! He wasn't interested. He was like, he was humble about it. He's like, I cannot marry the king's daughter, for I am but a humble man. I am a humble, young, supple boy in the palace. And so he goes out, and Saul's like, all right, put him in an army, send him out. He does well with that. He comes back, and he's like, yeah, you want my daughter? I have this other daughter. And so that's when he goes out, and he's kind of already been presented with, here's my daughter again. And you will be prince. You will be king. And he's like, all right, I'll think about it. And
I just like the part where David goes out and kills a bunch of guys, and then he brings back the foreskins to prove it. And that's
the part, is that was part of a trial with Saul. Let me see here. So we're gonna back out here to the.
It's a little different. I've heard of like ears or noses, but foreskins.
Foreskins,
and
that happened in Genesis too. Going out and getting those dick skins ripped off.
1 skin, 2 skin, 3 skin, 4 skin.
Your skin, my skin. You got your foreskin in my peanut butter.
Oh no! 2 terrible things that go worse together.
Brought to you by Chocolate Wonderfall peanut butter from the Peanut Butter Company. White chocolate flavored peanut butter, because peanut butter isn't enough of a fucking candy for you, you savage. Here's dessert flavored peanut butters for you, you beast.
Just get your ice cream with peanut butter in it if you're gonna do that. Like, what the fuck?
All right. So verse 22. Where did we come in with Dr. Ellis? 27. Okay, 22. Then Saul ordered his attendants, speak to David privately and say, look, the king I love that when they start it with look. Like, look, The king likes you, and his attendants all love you. Now become his son-in-law." They repeated these words to David, but David said, "Do you think it is a small matter to become the king's son-in-law? I'm only a poor man, and little known." When Saul's servants told him what David had said, Saul replied, say to him, "The king wants no other price for the bride than 100 Philistine foreskins to take revenge on his enemies." Saul's plan was to have David fall by the hands of the Philistines. So, no more weird, creepy bath time with my son, David. I have presented to you this challenge. Now bring me their dicks.
Not the whole dicks, just the foreskins, but it needs 100 of them.
And in his mind, he's saying to himself, "This is great. Either he comes back and he'll have to deal with my crazy, psychotic bitch of a daughter for the rest of his life and do her bidding and keep him away from my sweet boy, or they'll clobber him to death and they'll put his head on a stick. It's gonna be great." All right. When the attendants told David these things, he was pleased to become the king's son-in-law. So before the allotted time elapsed, David took his men with him and went out and killed 200 Philistines and brought back their foreskins. So twice as many than he was asked.
Yeah, 100 of those foreskins just went completely to waste.
How many do you think he just snipped in half and counted as two?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, who's really gonna look that closely at a bunch of 100 severed foreskins? Like, I mean, after the first couple, a dozen. Could you imagine? I guess the guy who was the chief inspector of foreskins to the king.
Well, exactly that role that
he was just like,
not even, yeah. They're like, hey, David's here.
Well, they did it on like a quality control basis where they sampled a number of them and checked those. Yeah. They didn't check all 200 foreskins. So there were probably a few that were questionable.
But the backs of the men who had to take the sacks out of the cart, you know what I'm saying? And they have to throw that big sack over their shoulders.
Big old bag of foreskins.
Wet, bloody sack of foreskins. And he's thinking to himself, do I grab the other one and just take it with me, or do I come back?
Because it's like, which is worse? To carry more, or just to like get it over with quickly? Or, I mean, you're going to be covered in all that foreskin blood anyway. So.
Discount 3 skins. Buy one, get one free skins. David went and cut off more dicks, and that was for the second wife. Now here's some fun stuff. Let's look at this, because this was this the NIV here? All right, let's see how they phrase this now. Because after David,
I'm following along with the literal translation, by the way, so I will point out any major discrepancies.
Perfect. I need that. You need a bell. I've got my bells, but
well, I'm afraid I don't have the technology here to do that.
We'll get there.
We'll figure it out eventually.
But David was later he's attacked by Saul. He was supposed to die. He was supposed to be pummeled by Philistines. He came back with 200 ripped dick skins, and Saul gave him his daughter Michal in marriage. When Saul realized that the Lord was with David and that his daughter Michal loved David, Saul became still more afraid of him, and he remained his enemy the rest of his days. The Philistine commanders, blah, blah, blah. All right, where does he chuck the spear? I don't want to say that. Where did he throw that spear? At David. So yeah, within a couple of these verses, very close to this, Saul is taken by an evil spirit. Now, depending on the translation of the Bible that you're coming from, some of them say God sends an evil spirit upon Saul. And I'm trying to find out where that is in this new the New International Version translation.
Where would it be? In this same chapter, or different chapter?
It's very close.
But it's after what we just
so I'll Google
finished.
It. Saul throws spear.
Saul seeketh to smite with the javelin through David.
The javelin. Okay.
It's the next chapter, I think.
That was 1 Samuel...
1 Samuel 19 is the one you're looking for.
1 Samuel 19. Okay, so let me back up to here. And... See, I'm on another website. All of these different translations, but this website's pretty good. Bible Hub. This one's decent. All right, so 1 Samuel...
Bible Hub.
Bible Hub, everybody. Let's shout out to Bible Hub.
.com.
Second, so are all of the chapters here. So 1 Samuel 19. All right, what we got here. Then Saul ordered his son Jonathan, and my father intends to kill you. But Jonathan delighted greatly in David. So he warned David, saying, My father Saul intends to kill you. Be on your guard in the morning. Find a secret place and hide there. I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where you are, so I can ask about you. And if I find out anything, I will tell you. Then Jonathan spoke well of David to his father Saul and said to him, The king should not sin against his servant David. He has not sinned against you. In fact, his actions have been highly beneficial to you. He took his life in his hands when he struck down the Philistine, and the Lord worked a great salvation for all Israel. You saw it and rejoiced, so why should you sin against innocent blood by killing David for no reason? He's like, hey, I know you want to kill my friend. Could you not kill my friend, Dad? The king? Saul listened to the voice of Jonathan, swore an oath, as surely as the Lord lives, David will not be put to death. But where's the javelin? Let's control F for javelin, everybody. Here we go.
It comes right up. It's like the next few verses.
1 Samuel 17. No, the word javelin only comes up once in this.
1 Samuel 9. 1 Samuel 19:9.
19:9.
And a spirit of sadness from Jehovah is unto Saul, and he is sitting in his house, and his javelin in his hand, and David is playing with the hand.
Okay, so a spirit of sadness. What translation did you have?
This is from the Young's Literal, which is translated from the oldest Hebrew texts.
Okay.
And it says a spirit of sadness, and then in parentheses, meaning it's implied, from Jehovah is unto Saul. So like it says from in parentheses, but it means that the spirit came from God in some sense.
Okay, and with the King James Bible here, and Saul sought to smite David even to the wall.
Previous.
From 9, and the evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul as he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand. So, okay, King James Version.
An evil spirit from the Lord
is sent by God.
Jehovah himself.
Nice guy. He's got a humorous guy, but you know what he does? He does do well. He's designed to do it well. Don't you think he does? I do. Do you? I hope you too. Do you? Thank you. Don't worry, everybody. I'm coming back. All right. Last entry here. Scalpod. Read 1 Samuel 6:19. So we'll go to 1 Samuel 6. Okay, I'm learning how to use Bible Hub, everybody, and it looks like
1 Samuel 6.
Oh my God.
19.
I am a fucking idiot. All right, 6:19. And he.
This is the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, he smote the men of Beth Shemesh. Beth Shemesh. They make Fallout, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because they had looked.
They made that multiplayer game, Fallout 79.
The people 50,000 and 10 men, and the people lamented because the Lord had smitten many of the people.
How many? Wait, how many men?
All right.
How many men did he smite?
Of the people 50,000 and 10 men. So 50,000. That's 5 times 10,000.
But in the literal translation, it says, he smiteth among the people 70 men, 50 chief men. But only, that's it. Only 130 people, 120 people.
Okay. You're saying you have a
I think the King James Version may be exaggerating by a couple of orders of magnitude, yes.
50,200 people in the difference here. Yep, smites 50,000 people because they look.
Here it's like 120 people.
And this is when the ark has been put out on the cart of oxen, correct? Or is
yes.
And the.
Well, it says they put it in a meadow.
Yeah, they put it away because it was. Now I'm trying to remember when the ark became astray from the Hebrews and how that ended up getting sent out, because I know it ends up going from
it's all in this same chapter, I think.
So up at the first verse 1, and the ark of the Lord was in the country of the Philistines 7 months, and the Philistines called for the priests and the diviners, saying, what shall we do to the ark of the Lord? Tell us wherewith we shall send it to his place. And they said, if ye send away the ark of the God of Israel, send it not empty, but in any wise return him a trespass offering. Then ye shall be healed. And it
what the hell is an emerald?
Emerald.
Is that like Sonic the Hedgehog? The emeralds?
The Chaos Emeralds?
Oh no, it's an archaic term for hemorrhoids.
Golden hemorrhoids.
Yeah.
Correct. That's
5 golden hemorrhoids.
Emerald
Weird.
is an archaic term for hemorrhoids. It was used as the common English term until the 19th century, after which it was replaced in medicine by a direct transliteration of the original Greek term hemorrhoids. Okay. So golden hemorrhoids.
Golden showers.
Well, it's good enough for the president, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's a nice guy. He likes this.
He's so nice.
His favorite book of the Bible is 2 Timothy. Oh man, what do we got? Oh man, so many good things like that. But so yeah, we had a couple of fun little Bible stories there. Let's roll the dice. Do we have anything in there that we didn't go off of? We have Deuteronomy 23:1. Now that's the last time I tried reading the Bible all the way through. I got to Deuteronomy and stopped. I don't know how far into it I made it, but I was attempting to read the Bible, and I've got a good chunk of the New Testament coming back to me as I'm coming, because that's what we really focused on when I was a kid. They were all about that New Testament. Jesus, sure. Jesus, USA, USA. And God was kind of just.
Well, you only really need the Old Testament when you need to justify doing something really heinous.
Yeah, like saying heinous. They hate that.
Really?
Nah.
I'll keep that in mind next time I'm.
Well, it is heating up in here, and I'm actually getting an alert that the core is warming up. So, not a good sign, everybody, for Dr. Fox. So we're gonna have a little medley here of more of Buddy Davis's songs, and I'm going to start opening up the vents. We're gonna start venting out, and we'll be right back with more time for the show. We're having fun. It's with the Bible. Stay tuned.
Oh boy.
Hi, Dr. Cosmac.
Talks about a worldwide flood, of a worldwide flood, of a worldwide flood. If there really was a worldwide flood, what would the evidence be? Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. Well, there really was a worldwide flood. Just look at the stony curse, with billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. The Bible talks about Noah and the ark and a worldwide flood where the world was judged. If there really was a worldwide flood, what would the evidence be? the earth. Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down by water all over the earth. Well, there really was a worldwide flood. Just look at the stony curse, with billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down by water all over the earth. The Bible talks about a worldwide flood. Could the fossils be the proof we see? If there really was a worldwide flood, what would the evidence be? Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down by water all over the earth. Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down by water all over the earth. Well, there really was a worldwide flood. Just look at the stony curse, with billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down by water all over the earth. Sing it with me, everybody. Here we go. Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down by water all over the earth. Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down by water all over the earth. Well, there really was a worldwide flood. Just look at the stony curse, with billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down by water all over the earth.
Time for the show. That's a good one, isn't it?
That was a real catchy tune, Dr. Fox. That was great.
I love that. And
I'm going to be humming that to myself for the next, probably until I'm dead.
we're 90 minutes into the show now. Let's go ahead and just get those obligatories out the way. Shout outs. Dr. Cosmac, my favorite Patreoni. That's here right now. My Oxygen Vodka level pal and friend, and regular contributor, and Is It a Band officiator. Thank you, Dr. Cosmac. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, more than welcome.
All right. We also have
millions of dead things.
Billions of dead.
Billions of dead things. I gotta learn that. I'm gonna have to learn to play that on the guitar.
Reverend Couchslaw, the Posse X Fenord, and Reverend Caller 23 are potassium level members. Hazel of the Windmills, YB Dobbs, Reverend Scowpod, Reverend Richard Negative at our AstroTurf levels, and then our under 5 shout-outs for Reverend Long Dead, Reverend 80, Reverend...
I didn't know we had any infants that were supporting the show.
Oh, yeah.
Under 5s?
I took out a credit card in my kid's name, and...
oh, okay.
Padding the Patreon.
Gotcha.
Don't tell anybody, it's just on the radio. And,
sure, I'll keep... Mum's the word.
Reverend Guimo, and Reverend Jitney Procure. And, of course, shout-outs to Dr. Ellis and Martha Artha at freethinkradio.com, and Guru Drew, and other people that are participating. Katana 007, bringing people into the chat. Join the chat at timefortheshow.com. Click the Discord button. What else do we have? We got so many other things. Facebook.com/timefortheshow. Twitter at timeforthetweet.
Billions of dead things on underwater all over the earth.
Show is under the water. It will be destroyed. Hazel of the Windmills, great sub-genius compatriot, also in the chat with Reverend Scalp.
Praise the haze!
Oh, yeah, and we got a shout-out to Triology Soaps. I've been working... I made a scalable vector graphic of the Hypercube logo. Anybody can have a copy if they'd like, but I'm trying to figure out how to extrude it in, like, 3D CAD.
Well, you should talk to me later. I'll show you how to do that.
We'll make a soap. We'll make time for the soap. Triologysoaps.com. It's like biology for trisexuals or trihards. I don't know.
Don't get it confused, though. It's not trilogy soaps. It's triology soaps.
Yeah, don't fall for that.
Those guys are frauds.
You goobers. Reverend Negative came into the Discord over the past couple of weeks. Don't say hello. You can always jump in there. He's in the Florida area. Heard the show through Hour of Slack. So just obligatory thank you to Reverend Ivan Stang and all those other wacky Subgenius radio hosts that are totally screwing us over, and they're playing nice with us. You know, they know that we're starting to generate, you know, just a little bit more buzz than we had anticipated, and they're trying.
They know we're the cool young hip show.
You know, things are changing around here. You know, things are changing, and they're changing around you too. Specifically, you right there. Yeah, it's gonna change a lot for you. But for the time being, thanks for playing. Time for the show on the Hour of Slack. And to everybody that shares and likes the Facebook posts and follows the Twitter and stuff like that, even though it's just a handful of people, thank you for clicking the buttons. It does turn out to take a lot to ask somebody to click a button on a website. And some of you do much more than that, and you are always appreciated. Caller 23, you know, he decked out the studio. He's gotten stuff of our Amazon wish list for our studio, including this nice mixer and the sound effects machine, which Reverend 80 and Dr. Cosmac were here, and one of the two of them gave it to me. I can't remember which one of you grabbed it, but we grabbed it at my favorite Orlando electronics surplus store, Skycraft.
What did you get?
The sound effects machine.
Oh, is that a unit? I thought that was like a software.
No, that is. In case you guys didn't know, that all of the sound effects come from a Videonics sound effects mixer. And
that was 80 found that one.
Yeah,
I think.
and it still got the price tag of $20 on it.
But it's got like applause and bells and stuff, right?
It's got applause. It's got bells. It's got.
How about your jet airplane flying by? It's got to have one of those,
I'm
right?
sitting here in the dark. We're in red light mode.
How about a heartbeat? You got a good heartbeat on that thing?
I'd have to look. So I have to turn on my headlamp here. Hold on, real quick.
How about the sound of a man reading?
If you wanna. I was. Alright, we gotta see here. I gotta.
Dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air, dead air.
Keep singing.
Hello, Dr. Fox?
Keep singing.
Oh no.
Singing. There we go. Oh man. I lost the microphone there for a second. So yeah, I'll post it in the chat. But here is the sound mixer. I had to move all the cables and shit off of it because this is my little hovel, my little techno hovel. But there's all the sound effects on there.
Wow.
And it's programmable. And so I've developed the muscle memory for pushing the buttons over there. So I know when to lock something in. And I turned it down.
I would like to hear. Let's see here. What do you got?
Let's see here.
There's got to be a heartbeat, right?
I don't think there's a heartbeat on it. There's a footstep, which you could probably miss.
Oh, you've got some bubbles. So you've got that sorted out. That's an important one.
Where do we have bubbles?
41.
41. All right, bubbles. Bubbles, everybody. Anything of that? Yeah. Okay. How about?
Wait, how does it have special sound effects for 3 different lengths of pause? That's like, is that really? Like, wait a minute.
Well,
how is that a feature that it can make no sound for 3 different lengths of time? What? I don't get it.
Yeah, I started trying to learn how to do the sequence programming, because you can you can
sequence a bunch of effects
put
and
it all
have it
together and stuff, and
okay, that makes sense.
Like when I had the applause, if I hit 99 and then the applause, which should be 08. Okay, applause is 08. So if I hit 99, Okay. So yeah, it's a sequencer. It's if you've ever heard those, it has like these little radio plays. It's all the sound effects put together, and it tells like a little story. There's one in here.
Oh really?
Yeah,
that's built into it.
Yeah, I guess just like as a demo or something, but I can't remember where it was. I think it was up here at the top. Audio mini plays. Okay, yeah. So there's one here. I'm gonna turn the Wii music down for the listeners at home, and I don't know how well you can hear them on the Discord, Cosmac. But yeah, the radio mini plays. All right, let's try one of those. So I guess that was the story of the that was me, not the sound effects machine. The story of Rebel Wilson and the Frog, ladies and gentlemen. Bring that shit back up. All right. Good stuff. It is burning
what
up
a wonderful
in here.
device.
I have a temperature sensor hooked up to the core monitor here, and we were glowing red, and so yeah, it started talking about the Bible, and things got hot, things got heated, and we're now trying to cool it down here in the core. It's actually fluctuating with red again. And I'm just trying to get as much show as possible because
before you suffer a complete meltdown.
But before I am done. But I think we turned it around, and that was my hope for it. That if anything, if nobody shows up, if nobody's here, if you weren't here, I guess I would have just kept reading the Bible just straight on. But you showed up, and we were able to start.
And you were reading the Bible anyway, but occasionally I would say something.
And yeah, and it was a lot more enjoyable that way. So
it looks like we have some other callers coming into the chat here.
Up in there, let's here. I'll jump up there, and are you with me? And we got like 20 minutes left in the show, and then Dr. Fox is gonna crash his dehydrated ass in the executive
totally reasonable
sauna, if you know what I'm saying. And we're gonna keep the sweat rolling because now I'm just turned up and severely.
Oh hey there, who's that?
Hello, Reverend Negative. I said hello, so don't answer.
Hey,
don't say anything now. You can't say anything. I said hello. Nobody say anything. Good. Now we're back to normal. The moments of crushing silence. But time for the show is brought to you by my inability to write anything down for this week. But screw it. It's Labor Day. It's my day off. This is the day off show. And you have the Bible to thank for that. This was America's Bible Day. Just remember that. God died for you so you could have an extra Monday off. Unless you work at Panda Express.
Or another popular chain of stores that isn't.
So which Bible were you reading, Reverend Negative? Which version of the Bible did you grab tonight?
I believe this is actually the King James Version. I got it from a Methodist.
Yeah, because he wasn't using it. You know what I'm saying?
No, New International Version of the Holy Bible.
Oh, you had an NIV version?
Yes, sir.
NIV version, like an ATM machine. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Yeah, that's the one I grew up with. So you had that one. Were you indoctrinated at all as a child?
Yeah, I grew up a Southern Baptist, and then I had to get baptized and all that jazz. And it's
bunch of Southern boys.
A facade and a lie, and then I got a girlfriend, and she was a Methodist, and
they'll lead you astray. They'll lead you astray. That's what happened to me.
With all their methods.
and their
And-
and their apologies and their caring and their giving.
Yeah, and they give
What a
me
bunch of
this
freaks.
Bible. They always got mad at me because I would never do communion. They wanted to do communion like every fucking week, and it was just like, no, I don't really believe in this stuff. I'm just here supporting, my girlfriend.
What did your communion stuff look like, Dr. Fox and or?
Well, I
Reverend,
was a Southern Baptist too, so if we were in a similar vein.
No, I mean, like, what was the food? Like, what did it look like?
Well,
Like, what kind of
I think it varied.
host did you get given?
We got. What did you get, Reverend Negative?
A small cracker and some old grape juice that they bought at the dollar store.
Yeah, that's about what I got. Was
Wow.
something cracker like. It wasn't that round wafer. It wasn't like the official wafer, but it was
No,
like
mine-
it was like a kind of like a Blanco Nino Cheez-It. You know what I'm saying? This little gluten-free rice paper cracker kind of. I don't know. It was really weird, but it was different everywhere. But yeah, my wife, when I met her, she was going to a Methodist church, and they did the communion every week. Did you do the same as me? You did it like maybe 2 or 3 times a year, like during some special time, I guess.
Yeah, it was really weird because I told her, like, I'm kind of pretty much an atheist and I don't want to do this. But there were like a few times a year where she would be like, you got to go up there. Because they would all go up there and I would just be the only one sitting in the pew watching all them praise their magnificent God. And it was really
Shiny.
And I'm a guy that will say that anyone, you can believe whatever you want to. That's fine, I guess, whatever. It's not what I believe.
Keep it
But
out
then,
of my
like,
uterus.
Exactly. But I was shamed. You could see the looks on their faces when I didn't go up there to take communion, and I'm just like,
Can we?
I
Do you
don't-
have a
this is-
picture?
a picture of my uterus or a picture
A
of the
picture of
communion.
your disappointed.
Keep your religion out of my uvula.
Future in-laws. Like you
Uh,
guys
no.
grabbed a selfie after the communion, and you're the guy over on the side. Did you wear? You can do like Peas. He avoids communion by wearing his fedora.
So you guys only got grape juice at communion? It wasn't even wine?
Yeah. Well, you know what they say. Hebrews don't recognize Christ. Muslims don't recognize the Torah, and Baptists don't recognize each other at the liquor store.
Ah, I see. Yeah, we got like the priest would like, or whoever would tear off like a piece of this pita bread, and then we get to drink like from this communal cup of wine. And it was real wine, and it was pretty fucking strong, although it wasn't very good.
Now, I actually had a job that entailed that I set up communions and things like that.
Oh wow.
When I was working for
For like high profile clients.
well, no, for for just the regular old Jew on vacation, and I would have to bring the Sabbath wine and the bread, and there's a box of bread, and I was supposed to set this up, and I was working on a cruise ship at the time, and so I guess
This was in your cruising
This
days.
is my cruising days, boys. And I still got it. But yeah, I would put out a loaf of bread, and I'd start it off. I'd cut a piece off, and I'd eat it. And then there was wine, and they were like, you don't have to open the wine. If someone comes in to have the service, just leave them the bottle opener, and they'll do it. The priest, the rabbi, if he's on board for this cruise, will take care of the rest. Then come back 30 minutes later and pick up the wine and the bread, put the bread in the trash, and bring the wine, if it's unopened, back.
That wine was cruising for a bruising.
Yeah, if you know what I'm saying. But then I also had to set up something for Catholics on Sundays, and I would set it up in like in like the bingo parlor. I would set up, morning mass, and I had a little briefcase, and I felt like that guy from The Exorcist, because you open the briefcase and there's a crucifix inside, and there's a wine glass, and there's these assorted things, and I'm like, I don't know, are they supposed to go in a certain way? And
it's like the portable pulpit that's in that Kurt Vonnegut book with Billy Pilgrim, where he's carrying around this military grade like collapsible pulpit organ.
He's able to throw it down and snap it into place.
Yeah, exactly. He's like a chaplain living out of a suitcase.
Great. Yeah, that's what it looked like, but it didn't work like that. I just had to pull all this stuff out of it, and I was always worried that I was gonna break it. And and at the time I was at the atheist point in my life too. I had gotten out of Southern Baptism long enough, and had gotten out into the English world, the white world. But I started mixing, and then of course found Bob, and I got myself a job on a cruise ship, and I ended up having just to set up.
Bob will do that to you.
I have to set up
set you up with a good job on a cruise ship
for other people. Yeah, and so that it was that was strange. But here's the kicker for that one: they're like,
did they have a chaplain on the ship though?
Well, if somebody showed up and there wasn't a chaplain on board, they said, "Here's a prayer that you can read and lead them along in." And I was like,
"So you were officially authorized under maritime."
Under maritime law.
Maritime law.
According to maritime law.
To commit marriages at sea, right?
Well, I was already a subgenius, so I had
You were just like Captain Kirk.
But, yeah, I was I was at Dr. Faux Sunday morning mass. And I don't recall ever actually having to do that. And I don't know what I would have done if it did come down to it. Like here, just and it was
you should have just. You could have just run a subgenius fucking thing, Like
I did.
You're the chaplain on a fucking ship. Who's gonna call you out for not being their religion? Like.
Oh, are you kidding? People that go on cruises.
Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know what the crowd's like on those boats.
The number one method of cruising is find something to complain about. And and keep complaining so that they take money off of your bill.
Well, the thing I'd be complaining about would be like, I'm on a fucking boat in the middle of the ocean.
Well, yeah, I said something. Apparently, okay, I might have said something mildly offensive to a kid once, and they had to lock me in my cabin for the rest of the cruise, for fear that the parents of said kid were going to try to kill me. So,
oh God.
Nice.
So yeah, cruisers, man, cruisers.
Cruising for a bruising.
I sure was all the time. But thank you, maritime law, for those great opportunities. I would have.
Maritime ecumenical law.
I would have done it. Who's kidding?
Maritime ecumenical.
Well, I've got
maritime ecclesiastical law.
I've got one marriage under my belt. I got married by Mr. Subgenius. Ivan Stang. He married me to my wife, and I married some other subgeniuses, but we don't talk about them. So I would have been happy to have done that and get it, and that was something I was always prepared for. And you always hear like we got like a preacher around here. We got a priest. Anybody got a priest? I'm like I'm right here. Hi, I'm Dr. Faux. How you doing? Ready to go?
I actually have a question for you. I'm going on a cruise next year. Are there any tips that you could give?
Smuggle as much as you can in your largest body cavities.
Fair enough.
They scan the bags, but yeah, just be prepared to. My number one tip is burn them through. The entire setup, pretty much any cruise line you go on, it's inclusive except for alcohol, and now some cruise ships are doing alcohol passes, so you can you drop $50, even if it's $100, drop it.
No, I bought
And
I bought the alcohol package because it's like a 4-day cruise, and I was told
Alcohol
Reverend High
package.
Priestess Poopy.
well,
it's called an alcohol package.
They don't want to cruise empty. They need
Boozer's Delight.
They need to fill every room. And so if you show up to the ports on days that ships are going out, sometimes you can get a room on the cruise ship for, $50 to $100 because they need to fill it. They need somebody on there, and they really push the alcohol. It creates an incredibly bizarre and hostile and unethical
Jesus.
environment at sea, and it's tremendous.
It amazes me that there's not more mutinies on these ships.
You want more story time with Dr. Fox, so I can tell you all about
Cosmac, they
that.
actually allow me 13 drinks a day, and I can pick what drink I want. So, I could just be like a Jack on the Rocks.
And how much did that
And I would get-
cost?
I didn't pay for it.
Oh yeah? Well, then you're winning already. So, yeah, but like one drink is like $15. Just anything, $7 for a beer.
Honestly, I think it was for our trip, it was about $300 for the drink package. But given that it's 4 days and I could probably drink about 9 million drinks a day, I think that we got our money's worth.
If
you can pack it away, I guess it's worth it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't take long because there's nothing to do unless you're into the goofy stuff that they're doing on the ship. They have theaters. They have massive theaters with live shows. Now you got a drink package, I assume. Are you going Carnival?
Yeah,
You're going with Carnival. What ship are you going on?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I made sure that you could smoke cigarettes on there. That's all I cared about.
That's an important part. That's a very important aspect of it. You can smoke on the port side of the ship. So
Only the port side.
Only the port side, and on some decks.
Is
there
that
are
like by
non-smoking
maritime
areas.
tradition?
I'm not sure.
Why is it not only on well, I guess it's so that everybody can go to any part of the front or the back or the side
Yeah,
and be smoking or non-smoking.
I actually heard that you could
guess it
smoke in
makes
the
sense.
casinos. Like if you're going to the casino, you could just smoke.
yeah. You
smoke
can
with-
do anything in the casino, but you're still paying. You're still paying for the drinks. There are no free drinks on casino cruise ships because they want it. They want it bad. But they have games. You're here in Florida, so gambling's a different thing. We don't really do casinos. We have them, and even then they're restricted to the games that they can play. So out on the ships, you have access to a lot of different ways to lose your money. But you can roulette at sea. That sounds fair. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
I've never been to a casino before, and I'm actually kind of excited to go lose my money. Like I'm saving up about $300.
Well, we can help you out with that. Just put that money in an envelope. Send it to Hypercube Labs, P.O. Box 4304, Winterbach, Florida 32793.
There's no better investment you could possibly make ever.
At all. So we started on the Bible and we ended up on cruise ships. But oh man, if you want to talk about stuff next
Moses
week,
had the original cruise ship.
he sure did, and he wished that he had gotten the luxury liquor package.
Noah, actually,
he
I'm
was
an
limited to one gourd cask of wine a day. It was rough. They had to ration. But there are free water fountains on cruise ships. Thank you, Aster 6. You're so great. Well, Pease isn't here to do any apologies. All I've got are more.
He is though.
Buddy Data songs.
He's here. I see him.
Well, he needs to come in and apologize because this show was absolutely an utter cacophony.
Cacophonal.
Cacophony. Peas, are you there?
Everybody message Peas all at once.
All right, everybody just at Peas in chat, and of course we have to wait 2 minutes for him to do it. So here we go. We're waiting. Okay, yeah, Scalpot's saying no apologies. Yeah, I see him too. Okay, yeah. So just at Peas, everybody. You know, make sure you throw in your Peas memes. Put in your Peas memes. This is good radio. Play everybody on the internet. Post your pictures of Peas. And tag Peas. Call Peas. Get him in here. We got Katana on it. Scalpod's on it. Cosmac's on it. Come on, everybody.
Is P's first name P? So it's like
no, it's Warren.
It's Warren A.
Peas.
WAP.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough.
WPs. He's good old WPs. Nothing, everybody. Well, there you go. Peas has abandoned us. We are lost to the times, and this has been time for the show. I'm Dr. Fox, your incredibly overexhausted and inebriated host for tonight's travesty of a show. But
it wasn't that bad.
It turned in. Actually, I had fun. I enjoyed the change from the usual time for the show format to Bible study with Fox and friends. That was great. I enjoyed it too. We can, maybe that's something new that we can do.
We should do that with like the Book of Mormon or maybe some Scientological texts.
Yeah,
be fun.
Send your crazy religious works to me, and I'm Dr. Fox. Email at timefortheshow.com. And we will do just so much more. So much more. This is episode like 81, 82? What the hell am I doing? I don't know. It went from we're every week we get together to talk about what we're going to do next week on the show. Then it became, okay, every week we get on to talk about what went wrong on the show last week. And now it's just... okay, so what's going on now? That's the new topic for time for the show. What are we doing? But
I could apologize for Peas on his behalf.
Absolutely, go for it.
Hold on, what a champ!
I'll cue the music.
Stepping up. That's what we like to see or hear.
Okay, you're clear.
Well, I'd just like to say, guys, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry for the show tonight. Dr. Fox, he was apparently hungover and had been up for 48 hours, and we got this little thing called Hurricane Dorian coming in, and I'm sorry, no one wants to have a hurricane, so we'd all thought we'd just read Bible verses, but at the same time, those Bible verses didn't really admit to whatever is going on at this exact moment. And I'm also sorry, and I'll apologize on the behalf of Cosmac just for being himself. And I will also apologize for Reverend Negative.
I'll never apologize for that.
Yeah, he got it. He did it for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, oh no, that's what I'm trying to do, buddy. And I'd also like to apologize for the Chatter Cube because everyone in there is hilariously funny, but we weren't all able to be in the chat. And I will also apologize that Peace wasn't here, and apparently he's in a Jeep out in the desert, and we should send him cardboard boxes. I don't know, but that's what I gotta say.
Send your cardboard boxes to 6428 Dobie Peak Drive, Las Vegas, Nevada, care of Warren Pease. That address again, 6428 Dobie Peak Drive, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Nevada. And, it's America's Utah.
At the end of the day, I just want to say I'm sorry. But the next show, we'll probably talk about what happens on the next show, and so on and so forth.
Wow.
Pretty good for
that was
pretty good for a rookie apologist, I think.
That was Peas, you better watch out, buddy. Things around here, they're gonna change. But right now, I'm going to change because I'm dripping wet with that thick, slippery sweat. I've been hiding in the hypercore with you tonight for tonight's Time for the Show. You've been listening live on freethinkradio.com. Subscribe to the show at timefortheshow.com. Click the Discord button, join the chatter queue, and subscribe to the show. Thanks everybody for coming out. We'll see you next week.
It's so beautiful.
Talks about a worldwide flood, of a worldwide flood, of a worldwide flood. If there really was a worldwide flood, what would the evidence be? Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. Well, there really was a worldwide flood. Just look at the stony curse, with billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. The Bible talks about Noah and the ark and a worldwide flood where the world was judged. If there really was a worldwide flood, what would the evidence be? Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. Well, there really was a worldwide flood. Just look at the stony curse, with billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. The Bible talks about a worldwide flood. Could the fossils be the proof we see? If there really was a worldwide flood, what would the evidence be? Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. Well, there really was a worldwide flood. Just look at the stony curse, with billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. Sing it with me, everybody. Here we go. Billions of dead things buried in rock layers laid down the water all over the earth. Billions of dead things buried